All right, so you're gearing up for that mechanical engineer interview.
Big day coming up.
Big day. We're diving deep today into RoleCatcher's guides.
Yeah.
These are awesome for getting you prepped. They break down what the job really is all about.
Yeah.
Not just the surface stuff, but what you'll actually be doing.
Right.
Plus, the questions that can make or break you in that interview. And then, something kind of cool, how AI can help you out along the way.
Oh, yeah. AI is huge these days.
Huge, right? Let's jump right in.
Sounds good.
It's funny. I feel like so many people think mechanical engineer.
Yeah.
And they picture like someone fixing cars.
Right. Or just tinkering with gadgets.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's so much more than that.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to be researching, designing, overseeing entire systems.
You're building the future, basically.
Right. I mean, we're talking tiny medical devices all the way up to massive power plants, keeping the lights on.
It's all connected.
Mechanical engineers, they make the world work.
Absolutely. Problem solvers.
Okay, so the job is awesome.
Yeah.
But how do you convince those interviewers that you're the one they need?
Right. Got to stand out.
So RoleCatcher has this interview guide with sample questions.
I've seen it, yeah.
Let's tackle those, starting with, can you tell us about your experience with CAD software?
Ooh, that's a common one.
It feels pretty straightforward.
It is, but it's also where a lot of people fumble.
Really?
They think, oh, I'll just list the programs I know.
Right.
But the interviewer is digging deeper.
What are they really after then?
They want to see if you speak CAD fluently.
Ooh, interesting.
Not just know a few commands, but how you think in design.
So less about software names, more about how you've used it.
Exactly.
So talking about projects, right?
Absolutely. Specific examples.
Like, what did you actually design using CAD?
Exactly.
What were the challenges you hit?
And were there any creative solutions you came up with?
And I guess 2D versus 3D modeling, that kind of stuff.
All those details matter.
Now, what if you're fresh out of school?
Ah, good point.
Not a ton of real-world projects yet.
You can still shine.
How?
Academic projects are gold.
Oh, right.
Even personal ones, anything that shows initiative.
Like designing for 3D printing, that kind of thing?
Yep. Or participating in design competitions.
It all adds up.
Shows you're passionate, not just going through the motions.
This is where RoleCatcher's AI can be a real helper, right?
Oh, for sure.
It looks at those job descriptions, figures out the exact skills they're looking for.
Like a secret decoder ring.
So you can tailor your answers to match perfectly.
It's like having a customized cheat sheet for each interview.
Love that. All right, question number 2 from the guide.
Hit me.
How do you ensure your designs meet industry standards and regulations?
That's a big one.
This feels kind of serious, right?
It is. They're not messing around.
So what's the hidden meaning here?
Professionalism, attention to detail.
Makes sense.
They want to know you understand safety, compliance.
Right, it's not just building stuff in your garage anymore.
Nope. Lives could be on the line.
How do we show them we're serious about this stuff then?
First, know your stuff.
Okay, meaning?
The specific standards and regulations for that industry.
So, if it's aerospace, I better know aerospace rules.
Exactly. Do your research.
On things like, what, the ASME, the ISA.
Those are good starting points, yeah.
Mention those, show you're in the loop.
But don't just name drop.
Right, gotta go deeper.
Explain how you actually use those standards.
Okay, so like, maybe you've got a system for staying updated on new regulations.
That's a good one.
Or a checklist to make sure your design is compliant.
Love it. Shows you're proactive.
And be ready for those follow-ups.
Oh, yeah. They'll come.
Like, have you ever run into a design that didn't meet a regulation? What'd you do?
That's a classic.
It's kind of scary.
It's meant to be.
What are they looking for there?
Problem-solving skills, ethical decision-making. So it's not about never making mistakes.
Nope. It's about how you handle them.
Having a good example already. Yes. Specific situation, how you identified the issue, took action, what you learned.
Show you could own up to things and grow from them.
Exactly. And again, RoleCatcher's AI can be super helpful here.
How so?
It can analyze your answers, flag anything that sounds iffy.
Iffy like?
Unprofessional language, lack of accountability, that kind of thing.
Oh, so it's like a safety net.
Helps you avoid those self-sabotaging moments.
I like that. All right, on to question 3. This feels like a classic.
Yeah, this one comes up a lot.
Can you tell us about a time you had to troubleshoot a complex mechanical issue?
Every engineer's been there.
This feels like it's all about problem-solving skills.
It is.
They want to see how you think, right?
How you approach a challenge.
What steps do you take to figure out the problem and fix it?
Right. It's about the process.
So how do we tell a good troubleshooting story?
Structure is key.
Like a good story.
Exactly. Set the scene.
Meaning,
Describe the problem clearly.
what were the symptoms? What was at stake?
Yes, paint that picture.
Then walk them through your thought process.
First, I checked this because then I realized that, so I tried this.
Showing how you eliminate possibilities, logically.
Exactly, a systematic approach.
And don't forget the ending.
Right, the outcome.
Did you actually fix the problem?
And what did you learn from it?
They want to see that you don't just solve things, but learn and grow from it.
Makes you a better engineer each time.
And once again, RoleCatcher can lend a hand here.
Well, how so?
Their AI can help you tell a more compelling story.
Interesting.
It analyzes what you've written and suggests areas to improve.
Like?
Maybe you need to add more detail, highlight specific actions you took,
So it's not just about the what, but the how.
or emphasize those positive outcomes.
Love that, focusing on the results.
Okay, question 4. How do you approach collaborating with other departments or teams on a project?
Teamwork.
Yeah, mechanical engineers don't work in a vacuum, right?
Nope. It's all about collaboration.
So what's the interviewer trying to uncover here?
Teamwork skills, obviously, but also communication style.
Because you might be working with folks who aren't engineers.
Exactly. So ditch that generic, I'm a team player line.
Right, that's too
It
vague.
kind of gets specific.
So talk about a real project where you collaborated.
With people from different backgrounds.
Like electrical engineers, software devs, project managers.
All those different perspectives.
What were the tough parts? How did you overcome them?
That's the good stuff.
Did you have to explain something technical to someone who wasn't technical?
Oh, that's a valuable skill.
Or negotiate deadlines and resources?
All part of the game.
And don't forget, emphasize your communication style.
Right.
Did you use clear language? Were you a good listener?
Those are huge.
And be ready to talk about conflict.
Ooh, yeah, that's coming.
Because disagreements happen.
On every team.
How do you handle those constructively?
Shows your maturity.
They might even ask straight up, tell me about a time you had a conflict with a team member. How'd you resolve it?
Oh, yeah, that's a common one.
What's the best way to approach that?
Take ownership. Show how you communicate effectively.
Not blaming others.
Right. Focus on solutions that benefit the whole team.
And again, RoleCatcher's AI can help you fine-tune that answer.
To make sure it hits the right notes.
Okay, on to question 5. Can't you describe your experience with project management and scheduling?
Getting organized.
This is all about those organizational skills, right?
Planning, execution, staying on track.
But what if you haven't had a formal project management role?
You still use those skills.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Think back.
Think like college.
Maybe you organized a team project.
Oh, yeah, those were always a mess.
Or planned a big event, anything that required coordination.
I start to see it.
Think about those key elements.
So defining the scope, setting deadlines.
Allocating resources, tracking progress.
Like a mini project manager.
You've done it, you just haven't had the title.
And did you use any specific tools or methods?
Oh, that's a good point.
Gantt charts. Those are popular.
Agile, Scrum, all those buzzwords.
If you've used them, mention them. Shows you're in the know.
And be ready to discuss risk management.
That's important.
How do you spot potential problems before they happen?
And have backup plans.
They might even ask, tell me about a time a project fell behind schedule. How did you handle it?
Oh, that's a good one.
Tests your ability to adapt under pressure.
Exactly. Calm and collected.
Okay, before we move on to the next question,
Sure.
I want to touch on something RoleCatcher talks about in their career guide.
What's that?
Certifications.
Oh, yeah, those can be valuable.
They mention a few that are good for mechanical engineers.
Like the PE license, right?
Yeah, the professional engineer license.
Yeah, Certified SolidWorks Professional. That's a big one.
Why are those so important?
They show you've got specialized knowledge and you're committed to your professional development.
Makes you stand out, especially early in your career.
For sure.
And get this, RoleCatcher's AI can actually suggest which certifications to go for.
Really?
It analyzes job descriptions and sees which ones employers value most.
That's amazing, like a personalized roadmap.
Okay, ready for question number 6?
Bring it on.
Can you describe a time when you had to make a significant design change in the middle of a project?
The dreaded change order.
Happens all the time, right?
All the time. Engineering is all about adapting.
So what are they looking for with this question?
Flexibility, adaptability.
Change is inevitable.
You gotta roll with the punches.
So definitely don't say, I hate when things change.
Not a good look.
Be ready to talk about a time you had to pivot.
Yeah.
Maybe new information came up or there were unexpected challenges.
Or the client changed their mind.
Happens all the time.
Walk them through it.
How big was the impact of that change? How did you adjust your approach?
Did you have to rethink your designs?
Do more research.
Collaborate to find new solutions?
It's all about showing how you handle the pressure.
Right. And staying positive.
Highlight the good stuff.
You embrace the change, thought creatively, found solutions.
And be ready for that follow-up.
What's that?
What would have happened if you hadn't made that change?
Oh, that's a good one.
Makes you think about the consequences.
So you're considering all angles.
Okay, question 7. Can you describe your experience with FEA analysis and simulation software?
Now we're getting technical.
This one sounds a little intimidating, I'll be honest.
It's a mouthful, but essential these days.
What is FEA in simple terms?
Finite element analysis.
Right.
Basically, you're simulating how your designs will behave in the real world.
So before you even build anything...
You're running virtual tests.
Testing for what?
Stress, heat, pressure, all those forces.
Making sure your design actually works.
Safely and effectively.
So the interviewer wants to know if you've used this kind of software.
ANSYS, Abaquest, ComSol, those are the big names.
And what types of analyses have you actually done?
Stress analysis, thermal analysis, fluid flow, there's a lot.
Sounds complex.
It can be, but it's powerful.
So talk about specific projects, right?
Yes. Where you used FEA and got results.
Like, did you optimize a design, reduce material usage, improve safety?
Those are all great examples.
And connect it back to real-world outcomes.
Right.
They might even ask, how do you validate those simulation results?
Ah, good catch.
Because a simulation is one thing.
Real-world testing is the ultimate proof.
This question shows you understand that.
That it's not just about the computer model.
Okay, question 8. Can you describe a time when you implemented a cost-saving measure in a design project?
Every company loves saving money.
This one makes me think about balancing creativity with budget limits.
It's a tough balance, but a crucial skill.
What are they really assessing with this question?
Resourcefulness?
Doing more with less.
Finding those clever solutions.
So it's not always about the most expensive materials or the most complex design.
Sometimes simpler is better.
Give me an example.
Maybe you found a way to use less material without sacrificing strength.
Oh, I see.
Or you simplified a design to cut down on manufacturing costs.
Makes sense.
Or you optimized a process to save time and resources.
It's all about being smart and efficient.
Exactly. But don't just say you saved money.
Right, gotta prove it.
Quantify your results.
Give me an example.
Instead of I reduced costs, say I reduced production costs by 15% by implementing a new manufacturing process.
Ooh, that's powerful.
Numbers speak volumes.
And be ready for those follow-ups about your decision-making.
They might ask, were there any trade-offs involved?
Meaning?
Sometimes saving money means compromising slightly.
On performance or aesthetics?
Being upfront about those trade-offs shows you're thinking critically.
Makes you look more trustworthy.
Definitely.
All right, question number 9. Can you describe your experience with material selection and testing?
Material science.
This feels like it's tapping into our knowledge of different materials.
It is, absolutely.
What's the interviewer trying to gauge here?
Your understanding of how materials behave.
Their properties, strength, weaknesses.
Right. Each material is unique.
So it's about choosing the right material for the job.
Exactly. Considering strength, weight, thermal conductivity, all those factors.
And corrosion resistance, right, if it's going to be exposed to the elements.
Good point.
Think about projects where you had to make those choices.
Maybe a high temperature application or a lightweight structure.
Or something that needs to resist corrosion.
Sure, you can think through those challenges.
And don't forget to mention the testing methods you used.
Right. Tensile testing, impact testing, hardness testing. There's a lot.
Connecting those tests back to the project requirements.
Shows you understand the why behind the testing.
They might ask, what are the consequences of choosing the wrong material?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Makes you think about the risks.
And the potential costs.
Both financial and in terms of safety or performance.
Exactly.
Okay, last question from this set.
Let's do it.
Question 10. Can you describe your experience with Six Sigma or Lean methodologies?
Process improvement.
I've heard these terms before.
Yeah, they're popular in manufacturing and engineering.
But could you refresh my memory on what they actually mean?
Of course. Six Sigma is all about reducing defects, getting as close to perfect as possible.
Sounds ambitious.
It is. Lean focuses on eliminating waste in every step.
So both are about making processes better.
More efficient, more effective.
At a mindset, right?
Absolutely. A focus on continuous improvement.
So the interviewer wants to know if you've used these methods.
What your role was, what you accomplished.
Like, did you streamline a process?
Did you reduce lead times?
Improve customer satisfaction?
All good things.
And did we use any specific tools or techniques?
DMAIC, Kaizen, value stream mapping, those are common.
It's a whole other language.
It is, but worth learning.
They might even ask, what are the key principles of Six Sigma or Lean? And how do they apply to mechanical engineering?
That's a chance to really show off your knowledge.
Connecting those principles to real-world engineering challenges.
Exactly.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here.
A whirlwind tour of interview questions.
But remember, preparation is key.
Practice those answers.
Get comfortable talking about your experiences.
The more you practice, the more confident you'll feel.
And don't forget, RoleCatcher's AI can be your secret weapon.
Throughout the whole process.
Tailoring your resume and cover letter.
Analyzing your interview responses.
It's like having a coach in your corner.
Cheering you on every step of the way.
All right, we'll take a quick break, and when we come back,
What's next?
we're going to dive into RoleCatcher's AI-powered interview practice tool.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
It helps you nail your delivery and make a killer impression.
Can't wait.
Stay tuned.
So we're back, and before we jump into more questions...
Yeah, let's talk more about these AI tools from RoleCatcher.
I think it's easy to get overwhelmed with the whole job hunting thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Resumes, applications, interviews.
That's a lot.
Having a tool like RoleCatcher that uses AI, though, it can really take some of that pressure off.
Especially when it analyzes those job descriptions.
Mm-hmm.
And figures out exactly what skills employers want.
It's a game changer.
It is. What I find really impressive
Yeah.
is that it goes beyond just matching keywords.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not just about stuffing your resume with every buzzword you can think of.
Nope.
RoleCatcher's AI, it digs deeper.
It does.
It understands the nuances of the language.
The subtle stuff.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell the difference between a skill that's desired
Right.
and one that's absolutely required.
That's huge.
It is. It gives you a much clearer picture of what employers are really looking for.
Helps you prioritize.
So you can tailor your whole application to match.
Not just the resume.
Right. The cover letter, your interview responses.
All of it.
Speaking of interview responses,
Yeah.
I'm really curious about this AI-powered interview practice tool.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Tell me more.
It basically simulates a real interview.
Wow.
You pick from common interview questions,
Okay.
record your answers.
Like you're actually in the interview.
Exactly. And then the AI gives you feedback.
It's like having a personal interview coach.
Right there on your computer.
That's amazing. What kind of feedback does it give?
It's pretty comprehensive. It looks at your verbal communication.
Tone of voice, pacing, all that.
And your nonverbal communication, too.
Body language, eye contact.
All of it.
I've heard those little things can really make a difference.
Oh, they do.
Like using too many filler words or fidgeting.
Can make you seem less confident.
It's good to know RoleCatcher's AI can pick up on those things.
Helps you polish your presentation.
Does it analyze the content of your answers, too?
It does.
So, like, if you're rambling or not really answering the question,
It'll flag those areas.
wow, it's like having a second set of eyes and ears
Helping you refine your message.
and build your confidence
Absolutely. The best part is you can practice as much as you need.
in your own time.
No pressure.
Okay, so let's say we've used RoleCatcher to tailor our applications. We've practiced with the AI coach.
You're feeling good.
Feeling good about those standard interview questions.
Right.
But what about those curveball questions?
Ah, yes. The ones you can't predict.
How do you prepare for that?
Well, you can't prepare for everything,
Right.
but you can develop a strategy for handling the unexpected.
Okay, I like that.
One approach is to focus on your transferable skills.
Even if they're not directly related to the job.
Exactly. It's about connecting the dots.
Give me an example.
Sure, let's say they ask about a time you managed a complex project.
Okay.
Now, you might not have worked on a huge engineering project before,
Right.
but maybe you organized a big event in college.
Oh, yeah.
Or you led a team for a school project.
Those count.
Absolutely. Those are all project management skills.
Planning, organizing, delegating, problem solving.
It's all transferable,
It's about showing how those experiences have prepared you.
even if they seem unrelated at first glance.
I like that.
Another tip for those curveball questions,
Yeah.
don't be afraid to ask clarifying questions.
Oh, that's a good one.
If you're not sure what they're asking,
Right.
just say, to make sure I understand, are you asking about?
Shows you're engaged, that you're thinking it through.
And it buys you a little time to gather your thoughts.
Smart.
And remember, even if you stumble or you don't have the perfect answer,
happens.
it's more important to show a positive attitude,
Right.
a willingness to learn.
Be enthusiastic.
Exactly. Let your passion shine through.
Okay, before we wrap up,
Sure.
I wanted to touch on one more thing from RoleCatcher's career guide.
What's that?
Networking.
Ah, yes, the dreaded networking.
It can feel intimidating.
It can, but it's so important.
RoleCatcher has some good advice on this.
Like what?
Attending industry events, joining professional organizations,
Putting yourself out there.
even connecting with people on LinkedIn.
Building your network.
It's all about making connections.
You never know where your next opportunity will come from.
And don't be afraid to reach out for informational interviews.
Those are great.
You can learn about different career paths,
Get the inside scoop on companies.
make valuable connections.
It's all about building relationships.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
Strategies for answering questions, using RoleCatcher's AI tools, and even the importance of networking.
It's all connected.
But before we send you off to conquer that interview,
Yes.
we want to leave you with some final thoughts, some inspiration
I like that.
to help you shine.
Sounds good.
Stay with us. Okay, so welcome back to our deep dive into prepping for that mechanical engineer interview.
We've talked about a lot of practical stuff.
We have all those tips and tricks.
But now I think it's time to step back a bit
Okay,
and think about the bigger picture.
I like that. Get inspired.
Because sometimes,
Yeah.
with all the job hunt stress,
Oh, absolutely.
we forget why we got into this field in the first place.
It's easy to lose sight of the goal.
Right. So let's remind ourselves,
Okay.
what does it really mean to be a mechanical engineer?
It's more than just the technical stuff, right?
Way more.
It's about using your creativity, your problem-solving skills
To make a real difference.
in the world, in people's lives,
That's what it's all about.
designing solutions that make things better,
More efficient, safer, more sustainable.
improving our quality of life.
Exactly. Think about all the amazing things mechanical engineers have done.
Oh, so many.
Life-saving medical devices.
Wow.
Transportation systems that connect the world.
Right.
Renewable energy technologies.
Helping us fight climate change.
And even exploring outer space.
It's mind-blowing when you think about it.
It is. But it's not just about the big, flashy stuff.
Okay.
Mechanical engineers are involved in every aspect of our lives.
That's true.
From the cars we drive
To the phones in our pocket.
to the buildings we live in.
It's all connected.
So as you're preparing for that interview,
Yeah.
remember this. You're not just trying to get a
I
job.
think it's bigger than that.
You're starting a journey.
Ooh, I like that.
A journey that could shape the future.
That's powerful.
It's about finding a role where you can use your skills
Your passions.
to contribute to something meaningful.
Something that matters.
Exactly. So here's a final thought for you.
Okay.
As you go into that interview,
Mm-hmm.
what mechanical innovation are you most excited about?
That's a great question.
And how would you contribute to it as an engineer?
It really makes you think about the impact you want to have.
Because there are so many possibilities.
There are.
Sustainable energy, robotics, biomedical engineering.
Pushing the boundaries.
It's about finding that intersection
Between what?
between your passions and what the world needs.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Let that passion shine through in your interview.
Show them your enthusiasm.
Your eagerness to learn, to grow.
Your commitment to making a difference.
That's what will make you stand out.
That's fantastic advice.
Thank you for having me. It's been a great conversation.
It has. And to everyone listening, remember that RoleCatcher is there for you
They've got the tools, the guides, the resources.
to help you navigate this whole job search process.
And to land that dream job.
Absolutely. So put in the work, believe in yourself.
And go make that impact.
That's all for today's deep dive. Good luck with your interview. And remember, the future of engineering is in your hands.